Well, hello and welcome to Live, our brand new streaming show on sanangelolive.com. I'm Yantis Green. Topping local news on this Tuesday following the Memorial Day weekend, there was a boat crash at Lake Nasworthy. This is Tuesday after the long Memorial Day weekend. There's lots of news out there, specifically on Lake Nasworthy. Sunday afternoon, emergency personnel were called to the lake to help with a boat that had capsized near the Knickerbocker Bridge. Police say that the small fishing boat was unbalanced and took on water from the wind-driven waves and then capsized. After the boat sank, the three passengers swam to a nearby dock. Luckily, everyone on board was wearing a life jacket and no one was injured. Also in news, the San Angelo Police Department on Tuesday this afternoon confirmed that a large drug bust took place in East San Angelo a week ago. They stated in a release that the SAPD Street Crimes Division, along with federal DEA agents, executed a search warrant in the 700 block of McLaughlin Street over there in East San Angelo. During that search, over 100 grams of meth and a small quantity of marijuana was seized. 3 individuals were arrested during the search and arrest warrant. 31-year-old Kayla Brown and 37-year-old Adam Muniz were charged with manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance. 38-year-old Christopher Ellenberg was charged with possession of marijuana. And going on right now is the 2022 Strategic Planning Workshop for the San Angelo City Council. That's at the McNeese Convention Center. During the meeting, the council and staff are set to discuss future projects and how those projects will be funded. Let's take a look at what they're doing right now.
Ready to go to bid this winter, and so we'll get that one done. Next one, mill and overlay of Chadburn from loops 306 to 43rd. That is in its final design phase right now. I'm not going to say 100%, but we're at 99%. Waiting on working with TxDOT Rail Division for one final piece of the puzzle, which will basically take us from the railroad tracks there at the just south of 67, because it's not 306 right there. TxDOT will let you know.
And one of the main topics during today's meeting is the street use fee, a proposed street use fee, as we reported last week. That proposed $6.75 monthly fee would be tacked on to every residential water bill, and commercial water customers would be charged even more. The purpose of that new fee is to raise funding for street projects. Be on the lookout tomorrow for a full update on that workshop. It's interesting that when that meeting started at 3 o'clock this afternoon, 2 of the city council members did not make it on time to the meeting because there was some street construction around the McNeese Convention Center that prevented them from getting there. They will be taking input from the public at that meeting on that proposed $6.75 per month street use fee. Also, the National Spelling Bee is underway right now, and San Angelo's very own Akash Vukati is in Washington, D.C., competing in the 2022 Scripps National Spelling Bee. Vukati has been at the National Bee a number of times and was the first ever first grader to make it back in 2016. Now Akash is looking to take home the championship. If, in fact, early this year, Akash joined San Angelo Live right here in this studio for a little practice. Let's check out that video.
The last and final word is, I'm trying to stump you here. I have been unsuccessful. Number 5 here. The word is kievit. The definition is the soft, dense, light brown, woolly undercoat of the musk ox used in making fabrics.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is this pronounced kievit or is it kiviet?
There it is, kievit.
Oh, wait.
You're killing me
on
on
this.
these.
I should mention, I literally looked at this word yesterday.
Get out of here.
If I remember this, it's Q-I-V-I-U-T.
There you go.
Yes!
There you go.
And finally, this weekend, several groups have joined together to help raise money for a San Angelo toddler battling cancer. The event will be held at Blame's Pub this Sunday. During that event, there will be a live and silent auction, barbecue plates for sale, and much more. 2-year-old Hensley Bannert was diagnosed with leukemia last March. After the break, Joe Hyde sits down with La Esperanza Clinic's CEO, Dean Munn.
Since 1994, Angelo Bolt has been the leader in San Angelo and the Concho Valley for industrial fasteners, tools, and supplies. With our extensive inventory, we will most likely have what you need for any commercial or personal job. Our knowledgeable staff has many years of experience to assist you in finding the tool or fasteners you need. At Angelo Bolt, customer service is our top priority. Come see us today at 808 Warehouse Road or call 655-0075.
Ask Brock and he'll tell you the only thing that's as fun and fulfilling as riding one 1,500-pound bull is riding 37 horses. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
Come get your bad boy mower at Henderson Tractor and Implement on Christoval Road.
We're going to talk about healthcare in the Concho Valley and what La Esperanza has been doing over the past year to really transform a lot of the things that are the offerings for healthcare in light of what we see with the Shannon expansion and things like that. So this will give you probably a better understanding of healthcare options in the Concho Valley. And Dean, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks,
on
Joe.
Central
Glad
Live.
to be here. Appreciate it.
So La Esperanza, and there's clinics in rural areas, I know because I've lived in other rural areas, that are called federally qualified health centers.
Correct.
So FQHCs is like an acronym that you have to learn when you're in the news business sometimes. And kind of explain the heritage of La Esperanza and how it got started and where you are today.
Okay. First of all, La Esperanza Clinic has been in existence for 28 years now. So right when I came on in 2019, we celebrated 25 years, and so that's how I keep up. But federally qualified health centers were put into existence in order to try to keep people from using the emergency room as their primary health care option. And I feel like we do a pretty good job of that, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Okay, so in light of that, what type of let's just say I'm a potential client or potential patient of La Esperanza. What kind of things can you treat? Let's say I have children. Let's say I'm a single mom. I have 3 children, and a kid has an earache. Should I take him to the emergency room, or take him to the Shannon Clinic, or take him to La Esperanza? To explain how that choice works.
I would recommend, Joe, that you call 658-5339 La Esperanza Clinics and schedule an appointment with one of our 4 pediatric providers.
Okay.
So we have pediatrics, we have women's health, we have adult primary care, we have dental, and we have behavioral health. So over 20 providers now. Providing all of these services. So, if you're not feeling well, emergencies call for emergency care. Okay, but if you're not feeling good, or if you're looking to establish care with a provider, whether you have insurance or not, we can take care of you. Now, if you don't have insurance or you're in an insurance gap, we have a sliding fee scale. So
explain what is an insurance gap?
Okay, let's say that, for instance, when I started work at La Esperanza Clinic for 90 days, I wasn't eligible for insurance through the company. And a lot of people are in that situation, whether you're out of a job or you just started a new job and you're not eligible for benefits yet, you might be in that insurance gap. So what we do there is we look at your income and we put you on a sliding fee scale. And, just the other day I was in the clinic and a young lady came in and she didn't have her copay that day. We're going to take care of you. We'll bill you where it's necessary. There's a difference though between inability to pay and choosing not to. And so those are decisions we have to make on the daily, but we do try to take care of those folks that are down and out.
So you kind of have like maybe a caseworker that will look at each case individually to determine the ability to pay.
Yeah. And our registration folks are also trained in how to make those determinations. And when they can't, then we have leadership that they can reach out to help with that.
And so where most of the money historically is coming from the federal government, I guess, from grants?
About a third, actually.
A third?
About a third is federally a federal grant, and then about a third is self-pay, and about a third is private insurance.
What benefit do you think that an organization, clinics, a set of clinics, you have how many clinics in town?
Okay, we have three. We have one at 35 North, 35 East 31st Street, which is off of North Chadbourn. We have our South Clinic location is off of, it's on South Chadbourn, 1610 South Chadbourn. And we have an administration building, which is just up the street here, but we also have a mobile unit, which I'd love to tell you more about.
Let's get into that for a second, in a second. But the benefit to the community, I mean, we're all taxpayers, and we're paying a third of this in federal taxes and things like that. And obviously, people will have to go to, August Pfluger, our congressman, will have a decision on, where not to, obviously the funding was probably packaged into a gigantic spending bill. But explain what the taxpayers are getting out of this.
Yeah, I think, when we keep folks from using the emergency room as their primary care, I think that's a huge benefit, because that costs the taxpayers for those services that are rendered that are likely not going to get paid for. So I think there's an advantage there. Whereas the other advantage here is that we have, as a federally qualified health center, our patients are eligible for 340B pricing, which is a discount pharmaceutical drug pricing program.
And that's important, because the prices of pharmacy, and everyone's on something today. Everyone's prescribed something.
So what if you can't afford your prescription drug, Joe?
Right.
What are you going to do? You're going to do without.
Right.
We know that, especially folks that are in poverty, they're going to choose to keep the lights on. They're going to choose to feed their family. They're going to choose everything before they choose their own health care. Okay, so they're going to do without that prescription drug. Where are they going to end up? In the hospital or in the emergency room, and likely in a situation where they're unable to pay.
All right, let's talk about the mobile. You have a mobile unit.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And kind of, first of all, tell us, how far out do you go?
We go, I think our furthest location would be, we recently added Ozona and Big Lake and Winters. So those are the furthest outreaching areas, but we're also in Miles, Bront, Robert Lee, Christoval, Grape Creek. I'm going to miss some. Today we're at Rush Street Ministries for the first time. We had 11 patients already booked for their first.
And Rush Street Ministries is kind of like the homeless shelter or home. They take care of the people who don't have a place to stay in a lot of times.
What Rush Street Ministries does is that, they provide a lot of clothing and
feed. They feed people.
Yeah, they have the neighborhood cafe,
Right.
which is every day, and that's an amazing. So we're proud to partner with them. It really is a good fit for us. We're also at Methodista Iglesia on Avenue O. They have a bread ministry. We're at the soup kitchen. So, we're getting out there every Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday. The mobile unit is at a fixed location. And right now we're doing 1 day a month at each of those locations, including Mertzen.
Do you keep track of how many people you're
Yes.
you're helping with this mobile unit?
Yes.
And obviously you have the stats to show, hey, this is making a benefit.
Yeah, and we started in October of last year. So we really feel like it's in its infancy and only growing. So we're currently in a mail-out campaign in each of those rural neighborhoods and getting the word out, and just as a help to it's let folks know what we're offering.
Before the mobile unit showed up in Grape Creek, what do you think those folks up there that you're serving now, how were they? Do you think they were just ignoring their healthcare problems?
Not. Here's the thing. When we got the mobile clinic, the way we made determinations on where we were going first was, first of all, we wanted to target places where there wasn't a healthcare option. There wasn't a clinic. But we also had an established patient base. So we already had folks coming from all of these locations. We're just trying to save them. One of the biggest barriers of healthcare is transportation, especially for our most of our demographic.
Right.
So removing that one barrier helps tremendously. So we let them know we're there. And you can't treat everything on the mobile unit, but almost everything we do there. We can collect labs and...
But at least you can continue the relationship or make new relationships where they don't feel, or they already, it's easier for them to come to
town.
They're
more comfortable there.
Yeah.
And even like on Avenue O, where it's a neighborhood kind of thing, we see that those patients are just more comfortable at that location that they've been going to for years versus walking or driving 5 blocks away to our Chadbourn clinic.
Okay, so you have 3 locations, physical locations in the Concho Valley, actually in San Angelo, plus a mobile unit. What's the future plans?
Okay, to get to that future plan, let me tell you the why. Okay. At present, we serve around 10,000 unduplicated patients every year, which equates to 33,000 or between 30 and 33,000 encounters. Okay. But what our needs assessment shows is that we're only hitting about 21% of the low-income population in our service area. That means that 79% of the folks out there that are low income haven't accessed our services. And so our drive and our mission is to make sure that if they're not accessing our services, it's not because they don't know about us. It's because, there was either a barrier or they're receiving excellent care already. Okay, so we've got to get rid of the barriers that keep them from coming to us. So a big part of that is visibility and accessibility. So we have 20 plus providers, but we need more. We need more, especially in behavioral health, where we see numbers like we've never seen.
So you need
before.
more providers, more
yes,
doctors.
We need more providers, and we need more space. We're busting at the seams, both at administration and in our clinics. So what we did is we purchased what was formerly known as the Rink, Angelo Skate and Fun Center on Buick Street across from Rose's.
And that's right off of Sherwood Way.
Yes,
right?
Very visible location. It'll be a 9,000 square foot clinic, including 6 additional pediatric exam rooms, 6 additional family rooms, and we're going to move all of our behavioral health operation over there as well, or expand it completely. And it'll have room for more providers in that arena as well. And then we'll move administration and training and billing and IT over there as well in the backside of that. We're really excited about that.
Are you going to close one of the 3 locations you currently have? You're going to keep them all?
No, it's expansion.
Okay, good.
It is expansion. People just have this misnomer that the people in need are on one side of the town or the other. But when we look at the demographics and where people live, there are people all over San Angelo that need our services, and we want to make sure we're easily accessible to everyone.
And the other thing about the people who need your services, they might need your services now, but in 5 years, they got a good job, they got a nice house, they got a good health insurance plan, and they've moved on. So it's not like we have a static population.
And here's another misnomer I just want to let everybody know. We accept insurance. We accept all the insurances. We just happen to be a good option for folks, no matter what your situation is. But for those that are really down and out, we have the sliding fee scale and the 340B program, which is very helpful. But we have people that come to us, look at our payer mix. We do have the insured. They come to us because they've established that relationship with that provider, and they don't want to change. We have high quality providers, and we're very proud of that.
Is it hard to recruit doctors in San Angelo, Texas?
It is, but you know what? We've been so blessed. It seems like when we've had an opening, first of all, ours don't seem to leave very often. So we have very few openings at the provider level unless we create one and we're seeking to expand and grow. Right now we're advertising for a dentist, and that is a challenge in West Texas to find a dentist, that's for sure. So it can be, but we have been very fortunate. When we've had a need, it's been filled pretty quick.
One last question before we go.
Okay.
You talked about the funding mix, about a third's federal. I guess another part of it's probably direct payments.
Yes, private pay, just self-pay. And then the other third is private insurance, whether it be Medicaid, Medicare, or Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever it is.
Are there any plans in the future to do fundraisers, or obviously you are a nonprofit, so
yes. So glad you asked. It is a need that we have. We're in a capital campaign right now for La Esperanza Clinic West, which would be that Buick location. We're about a third into that capital campaign, and
when you say a third, you raised a third of the money.
About a third of the money.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
And so we will be sending out some information about some other opportunities to come alongside and support La Esperanza in this, as we know that the community needs it. We do have an event that we'll be rolling out information about, in a fundraising event in October. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's not something we've done in the past, but I think it's something that we need to do, not just for the sake of raising money, but just heighten awareness about what we do. My thing is, you may not ever need our services, but you should always have the knowledge to say, have you thought about La Esperanza Clinic,
Right.
because your neighbor might need us, your family may need us. So we want to make sure that it's never about not knowing what we do and where we do it, that people don't access our services.
Well, Mr. D. Munn, CEO of La Esperanza Clinic, 3 locations, plus they're about to build one on Buick Drive off of Sherwood Way by Rosa's Cafe.
Thank you, sir.
And they have a mobile unit around. Thank you for being on our show today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Ask Brock and he'll tell you. The only thing that's as fun and fulfilling as riding one 1,500-pound bull is riding 37 horses. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
Come get your bad boy mower at Henderson Tractor and Implement on Christoval Road.
Since 1994, Angelo Bolt has been the leader in San Angelo and the Concho Valley for industrial fasteners, tools, and supplies. With our extensive inventory, we will most likely have what you need for any commercial or personal job. Our knowledgeable staff has many years of experience to assist you in finding the tool or fasteners you need. At Angelo Bolt, customer service is our top priority. Come see us today at 808 Warehouse Road or call 655-0075. Well, it was 1 week ago today in Uvalde, Texas, in which we experienced one of the most horrific mass shootings in American history. As divided as our nation has become following this event due to gun control, I think we can all agree that it was pure evil that entered the halls of Robb Elementary. But today, I'm not here to highlight the talking points of mainstream media, but to bring attention to 2 issues that our nation, for some reason or another, refuses to talk about. Number 1, if you ask any member of local and state law enforcement about an issue that continues to plague our communities, they're likely to tell you about mental health. Following the charade from Robert Francis O'Rourke last Wednesday during Governor Abbott's press conference in Uvalde, he brought up the issue of mental health in Texas. Now, Robert Francis O'Rourke has his political beliefs, and I have mine. But when he brought up that the state of Texas ranks dead last in caring for people experiencing mental health, well, he was absolutely right. While producing campaign video content for Mr. Lane Carter here recently, one thing he wanted to address was mental health. In researching this issue, it made me realize this is something that we truly need to take seriously. Now, not all mental health cases are all about people who have lost their way, but as law enforcement would tell you, it has a lot to do with the use of narcotics. Number 2, whatever happened to family values, or for that matter, having a little faith? I didn't come from the perfect home, but by God, Rosie and Jesse Diaz raised me to respect myself and respect others. More importantly, it was having parental figures around that guided me to be a productive member of society. Not every family has both parental figures in the household, but imagine if the young man from Uvalde, Texas, had a mom not influenced by drugs or a father figure in his life. Just imagine what that could have meant for those massacred a week ago today. Perhaps we're not having a conversation about a horrific mass shooting or gun control. Along with family values, what happened to our faith? I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not the best Catholic in the world and won't pretend to be either. But once again, imagine if the young man in Uvalde, Texas, had a relationship with God, or at least one with the local ministry group. These issues are tough pills to swallow for some, but it's the reality of where we're at as a society, and it's a sad sight to see. I'm not sitting here saying or pretending to have all the answers, but if we took time to address these issues in our community, if we saw somebody that needed help, imagine what that would look like. Think about it. Meanwhile, before we say goodbye on this Tuesday afternoon, we leave you with an important event to block off on your schedule, and one that pertains to this afternoon's commentary. Perhaps how a little faith can go a long way. For San Angelo Live, I'm Manny Diaz. Good night.
I'm Bishop Michael Siss, the Catholic Bishop of the Diocese of San Angelo here in West Texas. I want to tell you about a special project that we're undertaking here in our diocese and across the whole country called the National Eucharistic Revival. That's right, it's a revival. And it's a revival centered on the Holy Eucharist.
You see, my friends, God can use our imperfect movements, our imperfect motivations to save our souls. That's the message of Divine Mercy today.
Hey everyone, I'm Father Ryan Rojo. I'm the Vocation Director for the Diocese of San Angelo, but I'm also the diocesan contact person for the National Eucharistic Revival here in West Texas.
Lord Jesus Christ, you said to your apostles, peace I leave you, my peace I give you.
It's possible that as you're watching this video, you might think to yourself of many people in your life, in your own families, in your own circles who are not coming to church, who no longer have a deep faith in the Blessed Sacrament. I can definitely think of individuals in my family who are suffering from a lack of faith, and if we're honest with ourselves, I think that we mourn that. We mourn that reality and that experience in our lives. And we mourn it more so for the sake of those that we love.
Most loving Father, hear the prayers of your people, guide the world in true peace, and let us serve you in faith.
Jesus Christ gave us the precious gift of the Holy Eucharist in his ministry here on earth. He took bread and wine and transformed it into his body and blood. And he commanded us to carry out that same thing in the Catholic Mass. So when we go to a Catholic Mass and receive Holy Communion, we're receiving the real presence of Jesus Christ himself, his body and blood, his soul and divinity.
We're here, yes, to honor Our Lady of Guadalupe, but Our Lady of Guadalupe always comes with a message. Do whatever my son tells you.
Unfortunately, however, there are some people in our world who don't quite understand the truth of the Eucharist. In fact, in the last few years, there have been some polls taken of the beliefs and practices of Catholics here in the United States. And what those polls have shown is that there's a significant number of Catholics in this country who don't fully understand or believe in the truth of the Holy Eucharist. Besides that problem, we've been going through the COVID-19 pandemic, where for a short time, we actually closed our churches, and then we had all kinds of restrictions and social distancing, and for many reasons, people have been staying away from Mass. Some simply got accustomed to the convenience of watching a Mass online. Some, out of concern for their health or the health of others, have been staying away from any kind of public gatherings, and we need to get people to come back to church. This revival has three phases. First, there's the diocesan phase, from the summer of 22 to the summer of 23. Then there's a parish phase, from the summer of 23 to the summer of 24. Then finally, there's a national phase, which is going to be focusing on the unchurched, from the summer of 24 to Pentecost of 2025. I'm encouraging you, in whatever way you can, to be actively involved in this revival of faith and practice in the precious gift of the Holy Eucharist. God bless you.
I want to let you know about the first event we're going to have to kickstart the revival here in the Diocese of San Angelo. On Saturday, June the 18th, 2022, we're going to have a Mass celebrated by our Bishop at Sacred Heart Cathedral beginning at 4 o'clock. After that Mass, we're going to have a 1-mile procession through the streets of downtown San Angelo. We'll process with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and the Blessed Sacrament. This procession will end at the cathedral, and it'll lead into a period of overnight adoration that'll conclude on Sunday morning before the 10 o'clock Mass at Sacred Heart Cathedral. After the procession, I myself will be given a presentation that Saturday evening on the experience of Jesus and the real presence in the Blessed Sacrament. There'll be refreshments served. Hopefully it'll be an opportunity to come together for fellowship, and I really do hope that you can join us for this awesome celebration. In the meantime, be on the lookout for other opportunities to celebrate your Catholic faith, especially your belief in the Blessed Sacrament and in the Eucharist, in the year to come, in this diocesan phase of the National Eucharistic Revival. God bless you.